game is beautiful. I unlocked my unicorn motorcycle.
What?
Hey, welcome to episode 87 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Severn.
Yo.
And Blake.
So,
How's it going, guys?
great.
It's going well.
Yep.
Cool. Let's
Busy?
talk about... Busy?
Oh, shit.
Busy. Working on Delve.
We're all busy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You guys... well, Blake, let's talk about what you've been working on Delve. Because it's about to come out...
Oh, man.
It's like... as of when this podcast comes out, it'll be like a week and a half away.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Still got so much to do.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going into work after this podcast as well.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This
I
stuff. It's
might
more
end up
like,
doing the
okay,
same.
it's more like I'm giving myself work because I just want to do some cool stuff and get it done before, the deadline.
You've been, I assume, working on the tile sets
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
the mine.
Yeah.
What... well, I don't want to like spoil too much because there's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
Yeah,
that
I
we've
don't know how
never-
much I want to
Never shown before.
talk
but
about.
I know you've been souping up some old tile sets.
Yeah, a lot of Delve is like kind of reusing old tile sets, but like souping them up and turning outside tile sets into indoor tile sets.
Mhm.
So like we've got like the lava, we've got lava caves in there that
Yeah.
was
There's the
previously
Calm area.
Yeah, it was previously like an outdoor tile set that had to be turned into an indoor tile set, and we've got like ice caves. They were shown in the trailer, so that I don't think that's a spoiler. They were massive like outdoor tiles that were like huge, and so I had to turn them into indoor tiles that were just very small, and they technically they're called like 1x1 tiles for these indoor ones, and
Yeah.
previously they were like 3x3 or more
So they were
because they were huge. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so cutting those into smaller ones was like a little bit tricky, but it worked out.
They were used. So players would have seen the ice caves tile set previously as the Ascent.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And obviously the Calms area is the lava stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we probably shouldn't talk too much
we
about what
shouldn't-
else
shouldn't
there's
say too
going to be
much.
in there, but
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff. There's stuff I haven't even seen, which I'm stoked to see.
Mm.
I will say that the phrase bioluminescent
Yeah.
is said a fair bit,
Yeah.
and I'm stoked because on my honeymoon I got to play with bioluminescent plankton, and that was really cool.
Huh.
So
During the
Gross.
day, though?
Yeah, you were just
Yeah.
told it was bioluminescent. You're like,
I was like, wow, I'm sure I wish I could see it.
Yeah.
No, we
You got to
went
charge it up in the sunlight, right? And then you go into like,
no, we went out in the around midnight
Mhm.
into this bay that's just super super calm, and just rolled our hands around. It looked awesome. So bioluminescence is cool anyway.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Severn,
Yeah.
what have you been working on?
Some top secret stuff. But
Oh.
shit, man, I saw a lot of the cool Delve tech coming together.
Like lighting?
So do you know about this lighting?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I know it exists.
Holy shit. The lighting system's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's a screen space shadow technique. Holy fuck.
So, screen space shadow technique. What is? First of all, that sounds like something from Naruto.
Shit.
But what is
Yeah,
it?
okay.
What does it mean for video games?
That's cool because it's done just purely from what's on your screen and being rendered.
Yeah.
So it's cool, and it's not like dynamic
As opposed to
like a traditional light would. They kind of work like cameras.
what?
Do you know about this?
No.
You know about it, right? Lights are
Blake
kind of
shaking
cameras,
his head.
and then they just have like a light area. Things that are seen are in light, and then things outside of it will produce a shadow, just because that shape is obstructing that
Mm.
light.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm not even gonna bother now.
Yeah.
Okay. So-
but that stuff, like Ziggy talked about it in his video.
Oh.
Well, he touches on it, and the water stuff, the new water stuff. is
Oh
cool.
yes, I've seen that. Man.
Yeah. And that's really cool too, because someone in one of the comments was like, "Oh, cool, flow maps," but they're not being done with flow maps, and that's a big deal.
How are they being done?
They're dynamically. It's you know that we have a random tile generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's done as it's needed,
Man,
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it is cool.
the water looks really, really neat. I've been writing up patch notes,
Mm-hmm.
and the patch notes for the lighting in water, just like new lighting technology.
Yep.
Looks really cool.
Have you talked to Alex about it?
Nah, not really.
God damn.
We should have Alex on sometime.
I've been trying to get him on, but he's way too cool.
He's too cool.
He's too cool.
He's
for this
like, get
podcast.
to 1 million subscribers,
What
and
do you-
then I'll
Hang
think
on,
about
what are
it.
you saying about me? Does that mean I'm not cool enough?
No, we're all cool guys.
I'd never say that about you, Nick.
Damn lie. I've been working on. I wrote Nico's script. Nico's the new NPC. So I'm interested to see how. I mean, players have heard snippets in the trailer, but there's like quite a bit of writing involved, and some little Easter eggs. And
I
stuff.
like him. He's a cool looking NPC, I think.
He is a cool looking
Yeah.
NPC. Yeah, his look really informed his character. Really.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll start from like I'll just have an idea for a character and
Yeah.
I'll write the character, and sometimes that informs the look. But in this case, it was like the look informed the character.
So he's got like a diver's helmet on or something, right?
No,
Like, is that what's he got on his head?
it looks like a sort of basic Roman helmet, and then he's like modified it to have a little stalk with a candle on it.
Yeah.
And then also some like folding metal face plates to protect his face. I'm
Okay.
assuming from dust
Yeah.
or whatever it is that he's
Okay.
is exposed to in and around the mines.
For some reason, I thought he had like a straight up diver's helmet,
Nope.
like an old fashioned like diver's
like
helmet.
BioShock.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's just got folding plates.
Okay.
He's got a canary in the back. too.
Yeah,
He does?
I just see that.
He does.
I don't know why he's got it on his back because you can't see if it dies.
Yeah, good point. And maybe it just stops moving, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
He's like, wait.
Something
Oh
funny.
no.
Yeah.
He just hears a thunk.
Yeah.
Uh oh. Yeah, he doesn't really acknowledge the canary.
It's just there for show.
Well, okay. Here's my justification. If you're carrying an animal specifically so that when it dies you
Yeah.
have warning,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to name an animal.
Well, no, but you want to like have it in sight and actually take care of it because you want it to be sure that it
Yeah, you
died
want it-
because
you
of
want-
poison,
that's
not
true.
because of like you didn't feed it.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you could just be out in the.
it's not really clear how he feeds it. Like, where is he getting this bird seed? Anyway, you guys been playing stuff?
Not too much.
Oh man,
Just been doing stuff.
doing stuff.
Well,
What have
that
you been doing?
sounds.
Blake, it looks like you were deep in thought just now.
Man, I've just been thinking I've been too busy doing stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I have sort of played a little bit more of 3 games. I played a little bit more of No Man's Sky, which I'm still enjoying. It's become very Minecrafty. It's like almost straight up Minecraft in my opinion now, because you just gathering resources to build a house, and my goal is just to build a nice house, and it'll probably be like Minecraft where I'll finish my goal and then be like, that's it. I've got
I
a nice
beat the
house.
game.
Yep, beating the game. And I've been playing a little bit more Kingdom Come. And
That's the medieval RPG
yeah,
that doesn't have magic, right?
yeah,
It's
yes,
not fantasy.
dude. That's what I'm actually enjoying about it is that it's like it's an RPG set in what looks like it's a medieval RPG with that's just set in the real world, not in some fantasy world where like there's goblins and dragons and stuff and magic. It's just like
It's just peasants.
it's just peasants, and it's weirdly refreshing.
Yeah, that's sort of what I had heard when it came out.
Yeah.
As well.
And it's funny because like this is the thing that all fantasies are based on. So it's like going back to the most basic version of
Yep.
of that, and I'm really enjoying it.
I suspect. I mean, you can tell me, but it's probably quite easy to get yourself immersed in that world because it's recognizable.
Yeah, it actually is because I keep comparing it to the modern day, which is because it's our world.
Uh huh.
And like, man, they really like God is a big part of their lives, and like that was a thing in medieval anyway. Like I've watched it actually reminds me a lot of this Netflix show called The Last Kingdom. I think it's called The Last Kingdom, and it's set in a historical time when Vikings were really invading England before England was properly England, when it was just like a bunch of like kingdoms.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a fictional character, but all around him is historical people,
Right.
and like because it's set in like a historical period, and this is the same for Kingdom Come, you compare it to the modern day, and like you see things like God was a massive, massive, massive part of their lives. Like they're always talking about God, always going on about it, like, and and just
I reckon it's because life was probably so miserable that the afterlife was really the only thing you could look forward to.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like in early on you walk over to a pub and there are people there arguing about politics.
Cool.
And I'm just like, some things never change.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and what else is there? There's like there's a refugee crisis. And I was thinking as well, some things never change.
Yeah.
And they also like they have a sort of blind following to their like lord. Like they really like the lord in the castle of, you know, whatever sort of, what do you call it, like fiefdom or whatever the hell, like that
feudal.
Like they really like love their lord, and like if you say anything bad about him, there's like, oh, what, you're disrespecting. You know,
right? As in like, I see. Your lord as in like king slash.
Well, you're king, but then also the person that
is.
like directly rules over you, because you got the king of the country. You know, but then under that you've got
the regional
the regional
leader.
So and like, because that doesn't exist in the modern age, it's such a weird thing to get my head around. Like the only analog is the only like modern day thing is like, okay, we've got the prime minister, and then you've got your local like mayor or something. Nobody has any loyalty to the local mayor, like, or council person.
What about
like
Pope? What about that guy?
Yeah, but then that's religion stuff.
Oh, okay.
They love all that. Like
they love God.
Yeah, they love
We've already
God.
covered that.
Yeah. And it's funny because like the Pope and stuff is like basically like a second ruler of like anyone that's like Christian.
So I've been reading a book called Conquerors. Which I shamelessly semi-stole from a hotel in Cambodia.
Okay, you say semi-stole.
Yeah, so I mean they had like
half of it.
Yeah, so you ripped half of it in half.
I only
you stole every second page. It's a really confusing book.
The hotel had like a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Full of books that people had left there, and so I left a book and then took a different one.
Cool.
So it was more of a trade, but I certainly feel like I got the better end of the trade.
Yeah. What book did you leave?
It was it was like a book on a method to write a screenplay. It wasn't very good. I didn't like it. It was not very well written, which I thought was funny.
Where did you steal that one from?
My wife had it.
So you stole it from her.
Yeah, stole it from her. I don't know where she stole it from. Anyway, so that book is about back in like the 1500s and like late 1400s or very early 1500s. Portugal had split away from Catalan, which was like Spain basically.
Whoa.
And they were like just a poor nation on the coast, not really part of European politics. All they really had going for them was like they had pretty good cannons, and they had started to like really figure out how to master the sea, like how to navigate. And they started just like sending people down the coast of Africa in the hopes of getting to India.
Yeah.
And did
they know where India was?
They knew where India was. They knew approximately where India was.
Yeah.
They didn't. They had an approximate idea of the shape of Africa. They didn't know how big Africa was. No one had ever been around at.
Real big one. Yeah.
They knew approximately where India was relative to them because people like the spice trade. Would make it over them, and spices were like obviously very important.
Yeah.
But the overarching theme of this book is like, we were conquering the Islam
Jesus.
countries for
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
that's, I mean,
it's
that's
so
that's the whole
violent.
Crusades, right? Where they're just
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to retake the Holy Land for Christianity.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The things they do
Yeah.
and did were
Oh,
are
man.
just so messed up. It's amazing.
But that's a thing you like see playing Kingdom Come as well, is just
Yeah.
like and watching, I guess, any like historical like TV show, is that like life back then was so brutal,
Yeah,
you know.
and so church centric.
Yeah.
and belief centric.
Absolutely. Like I remember, like I studied a little bit of history in high school, and like I'm pretty sure around like the Queen Elizabeth era in England, it was illegal to not go to church.
Mm,
Like you had to go to
Right.
church,
yeah,
and if you didn't, it was like a crime,
What
as
happens-
well as being like, oh, you're a heathen or something.
What
Right.
if I was sick and I just couldn't make
Mate,
it?
God will heal you.
Oh,
yeah.
You
Then
haven't prayed enough.
Why didn't you go to church? God,
Yeah.
God will cure you.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But it was also like an interesting thing, because like it was a way for the government to easily communicate with the people,
Right.
because everyone was in one place. You could guarantee everyone was in one place at a certain time, and so any like, you know, government rulings or whatever couldn't be like told to the people then, and everyone knows it. You
Yeah.
know,
It's like it was, and to some degree in some communities still is, the central meeting place.
yeah, yeah.
My,
It's just not as like overall as it used to be. You know?
certainly not for most people. But
yeah,
um,
yeah. I mean, there's definitely like I have friends, you know, who are Mormon and stuff, and it's a big part of their lives. But in general, like most people I know don't go to church. But
Right.
like, you know, in the Kingdom Come days, you didn't go to church. There was something absolutely wrong with you.
yeah. So this is front seat theologian now.
Yeah, yeah. But you end up thinking these things when you're playing that game.
Yeah.
Because it's trying its hardest to be historically accurate.
My wife was telling me about how she lived in I think it was her. She lived in a town where like the first thing people would ask you, they were like new in town, and the first thing that they asked them was like, "Oh, what church do you go to?
Oh, yeah.
What's your church?"
Yeah.
and because and what your church was would rapidly determine where you stood socially.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
very,
It
yeah.
is just like a fascinating scenario to be in, I think. Anyway.
But yeah, I've also been playing Last of Us.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Good stuff.
man. Because you, Severn, lent that to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't played a lot of it. I'm maybe 2, maybe 3 hours into it. Like I've
Yeah.
basically just met Ellie and going through the city to get to
Yep.
somewhere, and it's funny because the world is more civilized than I expected.
Huh, okay.
Because
The area that you start in is kind of controlled.
yeah, I did not expect that. I seriously thought it was going to be like Walking Dead, where it's just like these separated groups like wandering around trying to find a safe haven.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that.
Right.
But I was surprised to see like, oh, there's like actually a sort of military kind of some sort of government control that's still like happening. Like
How-
there's
How did you find the opening?
Oh man, I actually I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably would have seen it before.
No.
No?
No.
Holy
I'm not
shit.
sure I have.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty strong.
It's it is good. Like they get you to first control a character that is not Joel, and I didn't expect that. And then because you control them, you kind of like have a connection to
Yeah,
them.
you start to empathize.
Yeah, and then things happen.
And he turns out fine. He's all good.
Nah.
Joel is very good.
Is he the Last of Us? Is that the one
Yes.
that the title refers to?
He is the Last of
and he makes it all the way to the end of
Yep.
the game.
Yep.
Dude, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be playing it so soon, just based on previous gaming habits.
No, I made an effort.
Yeah.
Like I did, I wanted to play it the night you gave it to me,
Yeah.
but then I got an email from my accountant being like, "Hey, we need some stuff." So I was like, "Damn it!"
Oh,
Spent the
no.
whole like hours doing like accounting stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been managing to get a little bit of time with it. I'll talk about it more
That's
probably
cool.
later.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm trying to get Nick to play it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'll play it.
like so far I'm really enjoying it. And actually what I noticed is And I talked a bit about this last week because I went to that talk at NZGDC about tutorials and like working a tutorial into like the intro few hours of a game.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Last of Us does.
Ah, cool.
Like there's no sort of this is the tutorial section where you learn to like crouch and stuff. It's all within the story.
Yeah.
And even to the point where like I thought I was done. I thought I was done with that and like the story had probably started and I was still getting things that are like, oh, now you're doing like here's a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then what's cool is that I'm at a point now where I think I'm done with all the tutorial stuff, and it's like kind of like the final exam where it's like I gotta like
now show us what you've learned.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. There's a whole bunch of like clickers around, which people know that's the zombies. You know, a whole bunch of them around, and you gotta like work your way through there using like stealth, using like all the abilities that you've learned. It's like the final exam.
Yep.
And I'm at that point, and I learned, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you need a shiv to kill clickers, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Because I
If you like jump up on them, you can do that.
Yeah, because I totally like I'd gone around and like there was some less infected people that you can just choke out, and then there was a clicker, and I was like, all right, and I'd killed clickers.
You trying to choke it out?
I killed clickers before, but I'd had a shiv.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, there's this last clicker here. I'm just gonna go up and get that. And then I was like waiting for the bottom prompt to pop up to grab it, and I was like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And then it just turned around and bit me, and I was like. And then it reset me to the beginning of that the exam again. I was like, oh, damn it.
Yep.
I learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah. You need shivs.
You need a shiv to kill a clicker.
Yep.
And that makes sense because they're so infected, they're not even like human anymore.
Yeah. You want to stay away from those things.
Yeah. It's weird being because like as a video gamer, you're sort of trained to just clear a level.
Right.
But this is a game.
Blazing.
Yeah. This is a game where that's not the best way to really do anything. Like just avoid stuff.
Do you ever feel a sense of like I didn't complete this completely?
Well,
like
sort of.
There was a guy left, and I could have taken
sort of. And you're just like I could just go back and like there definitely is that feeling. But I think as I play through, I'll probably not have that.
Right.
Like I remember playing Fallout. I think it was Fallout. Like early on when you were not like this like Rambo guy with like when it was like more desperate. Sure. Like I definitely like avoided things.
Yeah. Do you ever get this thing where like you hear about in a game that there's like an achievement for a non-fatal run or?
No, I've never tried it.
Or
I'm not even gonna try it.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that game.
I mean, yeah,
like
I know what you mean.
Human Revolution, I think, had a non-fatal run achievement.
Dishonored has that as well.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm not even going to attempt it.
See, I often will start a game just attempting it, and then I'll hit a point where it's like I killed someone, and I'm just like, I think I'm done playing this game.
oh, done playing it. Holy crap! I just go with it. Like I playing Dishonored. Actually, that's another game where I would just avoid people. I wouldn't like clear a level. But then sometimes it is fun to clear a level and nobody knew you were there, which is real great. But that's definitely a game where like I'll go through starting off trying to be non-lethal and then shit will go down and it's like, well, I'm killing everyone.
Yep.
There was I'm pretty sure I talked about this on the podcast. Like one of the last times I played Dishonored, I was doing exactly that, creeping through, doing all good.
Yeah.
And then like I choked out a guy, and then one guy I hadn't seen before just saw me, attacked me, and then I started fighting him. More people came in, and then I was like, I don't want to do this, guys. And then I ended up using like this power that you have because like Dishonored, you have these powers to just like basically go into bullet time and just slaughter everyone and just like body parts were flying everywhere. And when the bullet time ended, I was just standing in a puddle of body parts and blood, and I was like, you guys made me do this. I didn't want this.
I never wanted this.
Yeah.
All right. I've been playing. So we went to NZGC a couple weeks ago. I think we mentioned in the last podcast. And the like opening keynote. I missed it.
I got in there late.
You got in the keynote late?
Yeah. For someone that I live 5 minutes away from it.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, Blake. I don't know how you get to something late when you live 5 minutes away.
Sleeping. I went to bed being like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to sleep in because I'm not traveling an hour. And I slept in too much.
Yeah. That explains that.
Yep.
So the game that the opening keynote speaker had worked on was Alto's Odyssey. And so I downloaded that, and I've been playing that. That game's solid.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And really, really, really pretty. So I reckon if you're looking for a phone game, because, I pretty much only play phone games as far as you guys are concerned.
Yeah, holy shit.
It's not true, but as far as you guys are concerned, I pretty much only play phone games. Alto's Odyssey, worthwhile.
Cool.
What is it?
It's an infinite
It's a
runner.
phone game.
It's an infinite runner. It's what was that game ages and ages ago where you had to like
Tiny Wings. Tiny Wings.
Tiny Wings.
That's
Thank
the game.
you. Yes,
yep,
I was trying to
yep,
remember
yep.
the name of that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's in the vein of Tiny Wings, where you sort of do
Funny
things.
that you say ages and ages ago. That was like 6 years ago.
No, it wasn't. That was like
Yeah.
no, that was like 10 years,
No,
9 years
It
ago.
was not.
We got to
was,
Google this, man.
I was
afterwards.
living in the U.S.
Yeah.
when that game was big, so it was a
Okay.
while
Holy
ago.
shit.
So Tiny Wings, it's in the same vein, Infinite Runner, except you can do tricks, and the tricks are basically just whether or not you flip, or whether or not you like ride up a wall. But it's just very polished feeling. There's a bunch of different characters. There's cool advancement. There's different areas and biomes. And also the visuals and the music and all of it just sort of gels together and is just a really solid experience. Really, really fun.
They were saying that like players really wanted like a sort of endless Zen mode where you just sort of go without any like reaching to the end or
Right.
anything like that, where you
Yeah.
can just chill out and
Yep, they've got that.
it's almost like a weird zone out meditation
Yes.
type of thing.
Yeah, so they've got a Zen mode. And,
Yeah.
I was trying to get my wife to play this game because I thought she'd enjoy it, and she wasn't enjoying it. And then she found out there was a Zen mode, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying this one."
Really? Wow,
so,
that's cool.
so yeah, it works.
So did you say that it's you're snowboarding?
You're sandboarding technically. But
Well,
yeah.
that's in the second one, right? You're
Yeah, the
sandboarding because
second one you're
in the
sandboarding.
first one it was a snowboard.
Yeah, Alto's Journey or whatever.
Yeah.
Alto's Adventure, whatever it was. That first one was called. Yeah, you're snowboarding. But in the second one, you're in a desert.
Yeah.
And there's just like lots of cool little things you find, and like the obstacles are. I was thinking about this the other day. In a lot of Infinite Runners, obstacles are strictly obstacles, and it's just avoid them or you
Yep.
die. But in Alto's Odyssey, each obstacle is an opportunity to do something cool, and that's really neat. Like, yes, there are rocks in the way, and you need to jump out of the way. But if you jump on them, you get like you sort of bounce off of them, and then you have an opportunity to do a trick. Or if you've gathered enough speed, you can smash right through them.
Oh wow.
And yes, there are pits, but if you jump over the pit in the right way, you might land on a balloon and get more air and do another trick. And there's just like lots and lots of opportunity. Every obstacle is an opportunity to do something cool or interesting, or so in some way advance your state, and that's really satisfying. So I highly recommend that game. Also, I would suggest buying like the ad removal thing because the ads in that game suck.
Yeah.
They just show like you'll finish around and it'll just be like a pop-up ad.
We've talked
that.
about like the way mobile games sell things, right? Like
Yeah.
if it's either like
It's like an
annoying microtransactions or like I do prefer the version that's like you have a free version, it's got some ads, but then you pay a little bit of money and it removes the ads and that's it.
yeah. My actual favorite business model on mobile is the Solitarica business model of here is a very, very simple sample of what the game is about,
Mm-hmm.
and you can play it as much as you want, and there's no annoyance, and then you pay a few bucks and you unlock everything.
Yep.
And that
I think the
so
key is I
satisfying.
think the key is like having something for free that you then pay to like unlock the rest,
Improve.
or improve. Like
Yeah.
if it's just taking away ads,
Yeah.
but not like oh, this next thing's that you want is gonna take 12 hours, but for $10, you can access it right now.
I really hate games that make you grind, and in fact, I've been playing a game that has exactly that, and I haven't been playing it for fun. I've been playing it for research.
Oh, yeah?
Because I have a desire to make something.
Yeah? What game is it?
I'll tell you about that later.
What game have you been researching then?
I'll keep that off the air.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I'll tell you about that later.
Is it an erotica game? Is that why you're keeping it off the air?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I knew
it's
it. Thought so. I could tell.
To choose your own adventure.
Yep.
They all end the same way. No, it's but yeah, no, I agree.
Right.
But I also think that games that annoy you into buying something are bad too. And
yeah,
I don't like random pop-up ads for that reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. I mean, it depends on the ads, like how obnoxious they are. If it's a banner at the bottom, it's less annoying. But if it's like constantly popping up and you're accidentally pressing on something,
keep clicking things accidentally.
Yeah, that's a real bad
there was a
thing.
game I used to play where like the button to do a thing that was important for the gameplay was like at the top of the screen.
Yep.
And that's also where the banners would show up.
Yeah.
And the button would move down when the banner showed up. And so you'd be literally in mid-motion to press it, and then the banner would pop up instead, and the button would move down, and you'd click the banner, and it would just be like all the time. And so I think that was a game
I saw a funny GIF online where do you remember like months ago when there was that accidental like missile warning in Hawaii? I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone had accidentally like really, you don't remember this?
No.
It was when like shit about North Korea was like bad in the news.
Okay, sure.
But there was like some accidental like missile launch warning.
Yikes.
Like I think the thing was, Jesus Christ, there's builders like right outside the window.
Hang on, I'll close a window.
I don't know if there's a showing up on the podcast, but there's people like literally right outside the window.
No way, it's not.
It's a Saturday. Why are they working?
Go to your homes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Shit. What was I saying? Yeah. So there was this like accidental like missile warning thing, and I think the official story was it was supposed to be like an internal drill that they'd accidentally hit the wrong thing to make it a real warning. And I saw I saw this GIF online where it was just like a blank screen and it had a button. It had two buttons that said like drill warning and then like real warning.
Yeah.
And there was a mouse that hovered over the drill one, and then a pop-up ad popped at the start and moved all the buttons down, and they hit the wrong one.
I can relate very hard to that.
But I also hate games where the first thing you see is an ad. Like, have you ever seen? You must have played mobile games where the first thing that pops up before you even play the game is an ad.
I have played games like that.
Yeah.
Even worse, I think, are games where they will try and sell you something while you're learning what the game is about.
Oh yeah.
Like it'll be an idle game or whatever it is, and it'll be like, click this thing to upgrade, and that's how you get more resources. By the way, you can buy more resources.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, dude.
But that's
like,
I
I don't
lot
even
of games.
know what this game is yet, and you're trying to get me to pay money.
Well, so many games, right, have because they've got like their in-game currency, and then they've got their like
consumable.
What would you call it? Premium currency, right? The one that's actually worth money that you buy.
Yeah.
And part of the tutorial is like learning how to spend that currency.
Yeah, they give you a little bit.
They start you off with a little bit.
This
and they're
one's
like,
on the house.
now use this to speed up this building, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then you realize, like, wait a minute,
this is gonna be everything.
Yeah, you've made the game around me buying this currency.
Here's one other thing I want to talk about real fast. Because I've been thinking about this a lot. Ads for games on mobile are so often a misrepresentation of what the game is about.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
Dude, I remember talking about this like maybe a year or two ago about I saw I kept getting YouTube ads on YouTube for mobile games.
Yeah.
and they looked real cool. I'd see one and I'd be like, "What is this? This looks like way too good for a mobile game." It's
wow,
like,
this cool civilization builder.
Yeah, it's like buildings
Wow,
and popping up. It's all 3D. There's like
crazy
armies
combat.
fighting each
Wow,
other.
the animations. This looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, you have to like press this button 50 times, and then you get a crystal.
But then the
and you
game,
can
the
upgrade
game
the
itself
house.
looks nothing like
No,
what's shown.
It's just
There was a while that like they were just taking footage from other games. Like I remember
Yes.
seeing there's a game called Banished on Steam that's like a village management game, and I kept getting ads for this mobile village builder that was using footage from Banished, and I was like, holy shit, what is this? It's a mobile game. And then it pops up saying it's a mobile game, and then there's a flash, just a split second of what the actual game looks like. Like as if to be like, oh, we did show you. Didn't you see it? It was like that millisecond.
if you blinked, you might have missed it, but it's there.
Yeah.
I'm sure, isn't that illegal?
It should be.
It really should be. It should be illegal. Obviously, using another game's footage, I think, is illegal. But it really should be illegal to give the impression that your game is this crazy action-oriented combat thing, and then it's actually some dumb resource management. It's just abhorrent. I hate it so much. It's just so tacky and gross.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a while, so there must have been some like.
Oh, it's still there.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw one game. This was the worst one. Was that one game? Remember when I was all big on Ark, that game?
Yeah.
I saw one that was just straight up using Ark footage, and it was like a mobile
Dinosaur game?
no dinosaurs. It was a mobile village builder game, but it showed someone in Ark cutting down a tree, building a house, a time lapse of the house getting more better.
There's an ad I've seen recently of and I love this because it's funny how much they have to cram into 30 seconds, but it's like a guy who's fighting a dragon on some game or whatever, and it's meant to look like he's playing on Twitch or whatever, so it's like a streamer, and he's saying, oh, what a cool dragon, oh, I'm gonna try and fight it, oh sweet, I won, I'm gonna get into PvP now, waiting for my team, I'm in a game, this is super fun, and it's all in 30 seconds.
Dude, I've seen a few. There was a time when I was getting a lot of those where it was I kept getting ones where it was two armies fighting each other, and there was Twitch type streamers. It even set up as if it was streaming with their video in the little corner.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, it looks like this guy's army is coming up here. Haha, I've baited him in, and I'm coming in from the trees. And I'm like, what is this?
I think the actual worst ad I've seen was for a slot machine mobile game.
Yeah.
And it was a guy and a girl near a pool chatting, and they're meant to be flirting or whatever. And then another girl lying by the pool does something and takes all his coins in the game. And then.
Oh, right.
And it's just meant to be I don't know. It was clearly targeting the horny 13-year-old audience, but also gambling. I didn't understand it. It was so strange.
How are you getting these ads?
It's if you play literally any free-to-play mobile game, you'll probably see about a dozen of these ads.
I fully thought it was running through Google. That would suggest you it. No.
No. These. There are middleware ad services, and Google probably has one, but I think most of these are just private companies that just serve ads, and you just I worked on a game where we had a middleware ad service that served ads, but it was just tiny banners. It's just gross.
I was always getting them on YouTube. Just
that's interesting.
Yeah.
If you've seen some abhorrent ads, you should email us because I like hearing about how terrible ads are on mobile games. Apparently, so you can email us at frontseatquestions@gmail.com. Tell us about the worst ads. Let's talk about a trailer that came out.
Delve?
Spider-Man. So Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Who makes that game?
You didn't know this?
Who is that? Is that Naughty Dog?
Yep.
Is that CD Projekt Red?
No.
No? Oh, okay. It's Rockstar. Rockstar's next masterpiece. And actually, you know what? I make fun of Severn a lot for how much he loves GTA because he loves it a comical amount. But that game looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny. Did you listen to our podcast that you were not on, Nick? But I
not.
asked everyone like what the game that like really like.
Why would I ever listen to something I'm not on?
I was asking like what game really like what did I say, like inspired you the most or like affected you the most?
Uh-huh.
And we all had games that were like, you know, when we were like young teenagers, this really was like had a big effect on me. And Savern's like, yeah, GTA 5 I think is the
What was yours?
It's great.
What was yours, Blake?
Mine was Myst. I think I've mentioned it before. Yeah.
Mine might probably. I think mine might be Day of the Tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, I would say that too.
Really?
We've talked about this as well.
That game's awesome. So, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mhm.
Severn,
Uh,
what stuck out to you?
I could keep talking about it, but I'm not gonna.
No, you
What?
Oh, what?
Oh, you okay? All right, hang on. Before we get stuck into this, I have a bone to pick because you made us watch that trailer. We're talking about it.
Okay.
That was the only homework you gave me,
Yep.
and I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. It looks.
So
it looks
for you to
good.
say
it looks
I'm
great.
not going to talk about it. Oh my God, Severn, we're talking about it.
It looks really good. It was captured on a PlayStation 4 Pro console.
Yeah.
It's the first time they showed it running on a Pro console. All the other footage Rockstar showed is off a base PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah. Is that
Are you-
impressive?
It
Uh,
is, yeah.
I'm skeptical.
Okay.
It may have been like because they've
a computer that's supposed to be the equivalent of a...
right
Yeah.
because they've done this for I think it was GTA 5. They did something similar where they were showing footage that looked fantastic and was meant is quote unquote gameplay, but then like by the time it actually makes it to the console hardware, it looks significantly.
I think we've mentioned this about like E3 in the past. Like
Yeah.
they've got like beast computers that are like, yeah, this will be running on whatever console.
and then it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what they're saying.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
what is it? The difference I think is that the trailer's using like global illumination like throughout it,
Yep.
and which is why the rendering's so fantastic. And there have been other game trailers that have come out. Spider-Man, what is it? Battlefield 5, Assassin's Creed. There's a Tomb Raider game coming out. None of those games use a GI global illumination in rendering, which
Yeah.
is surprising. The only other game that uses it that I've seen is The Last of Us. And they use it. A linear ass game.
So what is surprising about that? Like, okay, let's explain for people who don't know what global illumination is and why is that different?
It's the thing of if you have a color against a white wall and you shine light on it, some of that color, if it's a bright red ball next to a white wall, you'll see light bleed
Right.
on the wall. So it's bounce light.
Right. It's it's like the red tint. If you're wearing a red shirt and standing near a white wall, the white wall will be slightly tinted red.
Yeah.
Near where you're standing.
So yeah, the only people I've seen do it, I think, have been this latest Rockstar trailer and The Last of Us, that E3 trailer. Which is pretty awesome to see.
Now, why do you think it's just these two companies? If it's
I honestly think they're like the best in the industry.
sure, but global illumination isn't like a new technique, right?
But when you're limited by to a console,
Mm.
you it takes a lot of resource to pull that off on
okay.
a thing. You have to employ some pretty clever techniques to enable that. And I'm sure there's like a huge performance hit that global illumination takes.
Especially if it's an open world.
Yeah, which is even more fucking surprising.
Because that was the thing, like with The Witcher, like they had to downscale their, like they probably didn't have global illumination, but they still had to downscale their lighting and all that sort of stuff to fit it into
on consoles.
on a console for an open world.
Yeah, it's really impressive. The animation's like crazy too. I looked into it and it they used a physics engine called Euphoria for Grand Theft Auto 4, which then was later sold to Rovio. Like Rovio acquired Euphoria.
That's why Angry Birds has such good
I know,
physics.
but they bought it for like $500 million. It was ridiculous. Anyway, Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out, and it doesn't use Euphoria, which is really interesting.
Interesting.
So the physics engine is like a very dumbed down version of it, And some people noticed, but they were really paying attention to it. Red Dead looks like it's a return to their own internal version of a physics-based animation system, and there are parts in that trailer, and I was really trying to egg these guys on if they noticed anything cool. But
what did you notice?
There's a lot of shit.
You notice
there's too much stuff to go into.
The funny thing
Global
is
illumination was the biggest one.
I've seen you at work, like at other people's monitors, showing them
at Eugene's desk?
Yeah, and you're scrolling the thing back and forth, being like, "You see this? You see this?"
I'm gonna give a little context right now because Blake, it sounds silly, but we try to do certain things in Path of Exile, and you look to better games that pull it off in things to point to examples of what to pull off.
Sure,
it's pretty common. And Rockstar's the leader, and we were looking at they have shadows that are visible from the inside of tents. So, for example, you have sunlight on the right of the screen. You're standing on the left of this tent, and you have something casting a shadow on the tent. You can observe that shadow from the inside of the tent.
Oh,
right. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's a thing that few video games do.
Yeah.
So they've got that as well.
Now, what is that, like a specific technique? It's like a translucency thing, right? It's allowing light to pass through a material.
I'm not sure how it works.
But also allowing it to cast, for a shadow to be cast on that material.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works. But it's a cool effect, and I'm sure you could do some interesting things with it as well. Like imagine you're in a tent and there's a bear shadow on the inside of it. It allows itself to some interesting gameplay things.
Here's a story related to that, sort of.
Bears?
Well, an animal.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I visited my grandmother's house. I would have been, I don't know, like 10-ish, that region, and we camped in her backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And
what country is this?
This is in Australia.
Okay.
And
bear country.
Everything's fun to kill you.
And earlier that day, I had found a stray, like a cat in the neighborhood, and I was petting it. And then that night, wow, we heard scratching on the tent, and it was in the middle of the night, and it was this tiny cat that was from somewhere else in the neighborhood, and it had found our tent.
Wow.
Was just scratching on it.
It smelt you.
Scared the hell out of us.
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about camping in the backyard stories. I remember when I was a kid camping in a tent in our backyard, and there were a lot of possums around our property.
Yeah.
And these are not like American possums. These are actually pretty chill possums in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They're nocturnal and
they're
stuff.
actually from Australia, right? These are the introduced ones.
I think they are. Yeah. But they sound terrifying.
Yes.
Because they do this hiss.
Yeah.
And it just seriously sounded like there were 50 possums just circling around our tent, just going all night, and we were terrified.
Wow. So back to Red Dead. Are there possums?
I'm not sure. The wildlife looks fucking crazy.
Yeah. I liked seeing the bear fighting the wolves, and
shit.
It would be interesting. I hope that you just come across something like that. That sort of stuff is just happening as an ecosystem, and you just find that and
I would like to see just how dynamic that is.
Yeah, same here.
Because it's one thing to have these pre-scripted events, which are cool. Don't get me wrong; it's cool to encounter that sort of stuff. But when you have seen that event once or twice, you start to notice that it runs its course. You know,
and that's almost every game, right? That's the
random encounter system.
Yeah.
I'll point out one thing that wasn't obvious when I first saw it. There's a scene where he's riding his horse next to an alligator, I think, at nighttime, and he's riding past it, and the alligator or crocodile turns around and kind of snaps at the horse, and the actual horse will get scared, and it actually jumps to the left a little bit, away from the alligator.
Ooh, I'll have to rewatch that. That sounds cool.
Yeah, and so for that to dynamically happen, that thing that they try to emphasize, that there's a bond with you and your horse, and you see that if you scare another person and their horse, there's another shot where you see these other cowboys on the horizon, and then he shoots at a guy, and then it scares the horse, and this horse kind of throws its head and spins the guy. That's again that dynamic animation stuff happening.
I like that because in The Witcher, your horse will sort of panic a little bit,
Mm.
but generally, if you just dismount and leave it on the side of the road, it will not really do anything like that. It'll like run away a little bit, but it won't actually like freak out. It won't act like it doesn't act like an actual horse. It acts like almost like a motorbike in the shape of a horse.
Yeah. Yeah, it just looks really cool.
Yeah, I liked they have I like that's alligator snapping at the horse is like that's some attention to detail. I think like I noticed when he was like petting his horse with the brush, there's like dust coming off it and that, and I was just like, man, this is real attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like,
Something a lot of people will overlook is long dresses are really hard to do in video games.
yeah,
You've got to look at like early Assassin's Creed games to see how garbage it can be. But it's you know what it is, right? You don't have physics, so you basically just keyframe animate this dress around the legs of the character.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you even just bind the dress to the legs, and then you just walk it normally.
I've seen in I'm sure this is BioWare games again, where it's like the dress is seriously just bound to the skeleton of the of the legs, and you can clearly see like it's not acting like a dress; it's acting as if they're stuck to the legs.
Yeah, there's a lot of intersection. It just looks horrible. And like there are parts in that trailer where Rockstar uses that bad technique too, but there are also areas where they have a full physics simulation of that skirt, which is really cool to see. No one does that stuff. So the attention to detail is astounding.
So the trailer we're talking about is a 6-minute gameplay trailer, right?
We'll put it on the Facebook. I'm surprised you hadn't already put it on the Facebook.
I don't do that shit. I was trying to tell
you
Blake
post stuff all the time though
on our Facebook
fairly
page.
regularly, right?
I don't think so.
one of the things that they really emphasized in that trailer was interacting with the world, right? New ways to interact with the world, and that includes like not just your animals and the plants and but like NPCs and buildings and like just ways to exist in this world, and it all is building towards this sense of immersion, right? However, there's my main criticism of that trailer, which by the way, the game looks great. I'm stoked to play it, but I think that they undercut themselves because they're talking about immersion, and one of the things they're talking about is like you'll encounter events in the world, and you can either like escalate or de-escalate those events, and there's like UI in the corner with like buttons for like escalating and de-escalating. What they aren't are buttons for like natural interaction.
Sure.
So what I mean by that is you find a guy who's like robbing someone, the button literally says like escalate or de-escalate or whatever it is. What it doesn't say is like yell stop, or aim or whatever it is. And that's what I think that really undercuts the level of immersion, because it's now back to the mechanical level, and it's not like judging a situation and responding based on how you feel or how you think what you think will achieve your goal. It's just hitting the mechanic button. So I think it's a weird decision for them to have made.
Nick brought up this and Mass Effect as well yesterday when you had the same.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying they should do exactly what Mass Effect does, having like these crazy dialogue trees or whatever. But I think having a couple like move the UI a little further in towards the screen and fit a couple extra words on to give you the opportunity to generate a more natural response as opposed to just chase a mechanic.
I think you're worried that your character won't do the thing that you expect them to do because there's only two options.
No, it's not. That's not what it is at all. It'll do exactly what I expect it to do because I'm pressing the button that does the thing that it says, right?
Yeah, but they might do it in a way that you did not expect.
Maybe, but that's not even really what I'm getting after.
You just want more options.
No, what I want is to make a judgment-based decision about my character and my the person I'm looking at's character, as opposed to I don't really want to get into a fight right now. I want if I don't want to get into a
So
fight
in
right
that
now.
in that situation, you would diffuse the situation.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the thing. If I want to diffuse the situation, I don't want to just press a button that says diffuse. What I want to do is say, I want to press the button that says, "Whoa, now, never mind," or something. You know,
So I think,
But then how
like
is that different than just pressing a button that says diffuse? Are you annoyed that it says diffuse and not something else?
Yeah, pretty much. Because what I want is to be able to respond in a way that I have an expectation, and oftentimes that expectation will be met. But maybe I've just met a crazy person where saying that actually escalates. The situation.
So you want, I mean, similar to the Mass Effect, then to have like something, and similar to I guess The Witcher, where it says something, not exactly what they're going to say, but something along the lines of what they're going to say.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, instead of just escalate or de-escalate.
I want to be able to make a conversational response,
right,
and have the result, feel natural.
But I don't think we know it, like, how much that, like, if it's just de-escalate and de-escalate. I'd imagine if there's like conversations and stuff, they're not just going to be, I'm having a conversation at a bar, escalate or de-escalate. Like, I don't like.
Yeah,
we don't
I think
know,
there is context around it as well. Right?
Yeah, I because the things that we saw was a guy on the side of the road being like robbing someone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so de-escalate and escalate may not apply in all situations.
Right.
Especially when it's a stranger and you know nothing about this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all the more reason for it to not be a mechanical distinction.
Right.
I think that's all the more reason for it to be a what would I say in this situation to get the result that I want, as opposed to, nah, don't want to engage right now.
My argument against what Nick's saying is you obviously don't care about your UI. And
I
you just
do.
want to like clutter it with text.
I do.
The funny thing is, I only watching it a second time did I notice that those pop-ups were in the corner.
Yeah, it's trying to get really minimal. Like, a lot of modern games are doing that.
And I think maybe if you play it enough, you would just know, not even need to look.
Yeah,
because
I think
the buttons will always be the same.
Yeah, it'll be like an aggressive thing will be a maybe circle or something. Yeah. But like if I think it's a decent way to handle it, especially when like you're riding past a guy and you want to greet them. I don't need to hear or see hello,
howdy, partner.
Yeah, I don't need to see that text. I just acknowowledge this person. You know?
I don't want to see like howdy, partner, or reach for the sky.
Yeah.
Like escalate and de-escalate is the same thing.
Yeah,
but you can do it in a more subtle way, right? You saying howdy, partner, to someone robbing someone will get you involved, right?
Yeah, but so would escalating it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is like if it says howdy, partner.
Well, I mean, I guess that means
you may not be aware as a player that you're going to get yourself involved.
That's why I said you don't know how they're going to react.
Yes.
Because just pressing escalate, you don't know if they're going to say, what's going on here, or be like, then reach for the sky, you know?
So I want to clarify, because I don't think it's escalate or de-escalate. I think it's like threaten or diffuse. So it is much
I'm sure
more,
I saw...
There's more to that. There's antagonize. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
But it's
I did
quite...
see antagonize in there.
It's quite black and white.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, because I don't know who this character is, I still do know what the end result will be based on my key press, which I think is less interesting than having to make a judgment based on what I know about the situation.
Well, you don't know how the situation will end. You know,
I can guess when it says threaten, or if but
you don't know the actual final outcome of that. You're saying you know what your character's going to do is that he's going to threaten them.
Yeah.
You don't know in what way he's going to threaten them. You don't know how that person is going to react.
Sure.
Like that person could then like be a coward and be like, you know,
maybe
you just don't know. And I think the thing is, like, as you play the game, you'll get to know this character, because it seems you're role playing as this character. It's not like this is me as a.
Let me throw out a different scenario. Okay, instead of it saying threaten, what if it said step away? Like, as in, like, it's what you're saying. You're going to make your character say step away. You know, they're robbing someone, and you have the option to say.
I get you want a.
I want
way
to be able.
you want to decide how you escalate it. You want a couple of options that are like,
No. Again, no.
well, I don't know what you want.
If I want to escalate the
Yeah.
situation, if I want to get into a fight, I should be looking at the dialogue options.
Yeah.
I should have actual dialogue options,
Right.
or actions, or whatever
Why?
it is.
Yeah, and you can decide how
Because-
you get into the fight. That's what I
But no,
was just saying.
Yeah. But it's more like, oh, which one will actually start a fight? This is that's my.
But
I
you
want to
never-
be looking at those options. What I don't want to be is just like press the button that gets me into the fight. Does
yeah,
that
but
make
you
sense?
don't know if that's going to get you into a fight.
But I do. Like
You-
because
like,
they are
you
they are
don't know.
designed.
You don't know because you don't get inflection
This
on
is-
text. Do you know what I mean?
you walk up into a situation, you don't know how that other person's going to react. You're just basing it
But
on
the game is telling me how they're going to react because they've labeled them.
No, that's how you're
diffuse.
reacting. You're
If
going
I
to try
press-
and diffuse it.
Okay, if I come up across someone who's robbing someone,
Yeah.
and the button says diffuse,
Yeah.
and I get into a fight as a result, that's a failure of like UI.
Well, you tried.
Well, look, I mean, let's all play this game when it comes out so we can really like
Sure.
I really don't
know
get that
what we're
that
talking about.
pet peeve because the system before it was I point a gun at him or I don't point a gun. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's
Sure.
a huge
Yeah,
improvement.
it is. Well, is it though? It's instead of pointing a gun, you're pressing a button.
Well, yeah, one of 5 buttons.
Yeah,
Or
but
you can just walk
but
away.
you know,
I mean,
and I'm guessing in almost every case, you know what the result will be from pressing that button.
Oh, do you think like certain NPCs will be scripted to only act one way? As in, like, if I were to diffuse it, he would just be such a hothead and then just want to.
No, I don't think. I think that like if you come across an NPC who's robbing someone and there's a button to defuse, and you press that button, it'll defuse the situation.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't think will happen is
I
you'll.
mean, you
get,
say it will diffuse the situation. You're going to attempt to diffuse the situation. Like,
again,
this
if
is
it
your-
says defuse and I press the button and I get into a fight, that's a failure of UI.
but that's your. I think
Is it a failure of UI?
Yeah,
Or
because
is it
what
just,
that
like,
what that
your
should have
character's
said
a
is
failure?
attempt to defuse.
maybe that's the key. Is that I see those as like your character is going to attempt to do this. Your character is going to attempt to escalate the situation. Your character is going to attempt to diffuse the situation.
Sure.
Like that's just what your character is going to do. You do like the outcome could be completely different.
Sure. And if it's based on some like skill, like how well you can negotiate, and that's like a thing that's something you've trained
I
your
mean, well,
character
yeah,
to achieve or whatever, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case.
You're
As a
seeing
result,
it's a one-off choice. You walk up to a situation, it's a one-off choice, like escalate or diffuse, and that's it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you know
See,
what the outcomes are going to be.
I'm more like I don't know if that's how it's going to be. There may be several points where
Well,
you choose
again,
things in a situation.
I'm only basing
I
this
don't
off
know.
of what that trailer.
Yeah, I
showed.
mean, me
and
too,
In that
because
trailer,
I don't-
it was very black and
Sure,
white.
it showed that, but like, I mean, we don't know what the game is going to have eventually. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is like you walk up to a guy and you just have 2 choices, and
Yep.
they are the outcome.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's different.
And
like
maybe
you
there's
have,
more nuance than that.
Yeah.
And I hope there is.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, it looks very much like
I
press the button to get the result you want.
I liked
but
there was
no role play involved.
I like in the trailer where the guy walks up to a guy dangling off a cliff and it's like help or kill.
Yeah,
One of
that's-
those 2 options.
Yeah, but then I think it was the same guy. Like a second later, I think he helps him, and then he says something like,
I should have killed you.
"He was like, should I have killed you?" It's like you don't know what this guy is, who this guy is. Like it's
Maybe you do. by that stage,
maybe this
but-
guy is a huge, or maybe you do, or maybe like this guy's a huge piece of shit, and you should have killed him.
Yeah,
And later on, you'll be like, I should have killed that guy. Like it's.
yeah.
It's you don't know what I don't think you know what the outcome is, but you'll know the outcome that you'll be trying to achieve by those options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in The Witcher.
Like, okay, what I want is I would love to encounter a hostage situation. This is the perfect scenario for me.
Yeah.
Is I encounter a hostage situation.
Or diffuse it. Done.
Yeah,
See?
the next thing.
That's so frustrating because
Yeah, I
I think
know,
that's what
that's-
we're gonna get.
that-
But
that-
what I want is like the
You
option
want
to say
several choices of you.
I
you
want the
several
option to say
paths
put down
choose.
your gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to escalate it or not. I need to make that judgment
Right,
call.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
I want that to not be a matter of like I know which one is more likely to result in the thing. I want to look at the character, hear what he's saying, look at how he's behaving, have known how my character is going to speak because I've been playing this character for 20 hours or whatever it is, and make a judgment call.
Yeah.
As opposed to just diffuse, escalate, whatever.
No, I hear. In a case like that, if there was like, it's presenting you a hostage situation that's a very tense situation that requires a lot of, nuance in the way you speak.
Yeah.
Just having two options, escalate or de-escalate, are not
not
enough for that.
But
I mean, the thing is, like, if
and also, like, if I could navigate my way through that conversation, like, I say one thing and it leads to another.
Yeah. I mean,
like, now he's getting more tense.
I don't know.
What's my next move?
I saw that trailer, and that's sort of what I got from it, was that you'd have...
I got the opposite. I got press the button to do the thing you want. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. We don't know. We're all going to have to play this game.
Yeah.
We should all make a podcast promise to play this game.
Nick, are you going to play this game?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. If it comes on PC.
Oh, God damn it. Get a PlayStation. There's so many good games on it.
Well, I'll borrow
God of War.
someone's. I think Jonathan's
Last of Us.
Still down to lend me his PS4, so I'll do it. I think we are out of time. We'd actually, you know what? Tell us what you thought of the Red Dead trailer. Tell me how wrong I am about wanting dialogue options. You can tweet Nick, you're wrong, to @FrontSeatCast on Twitter. Or you can message us directly on Facebook, facebook.com/FrontSeatCast, and just say, hey, Front Seat Gamer, Nick, you're wrong. YouTube.com/FrontSeatCast is our YouTube page. There are opportunities to leave comments about how wrong I am. And Twitch.tv/FrontSeatCast is where you can watch Severn Twitch.
Watch him Twitch.
Yeah.
Also, I updated the our actual website to have a Twitch button, so
cool.
that just links straight to our Twitch page.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Severn's been craving to some twitching. He said he might do some 3D modeling on there.
Yep.
That's cool. I want to watch that.
It wouldn't be part of Exile stuff, but
that
would be a hell of a...
Yeah. It would be his own thing.
Oh, man, 3.5 models over here.
Shut up, Blake. Now players know there's a 3.5.
Shit.
We'll be back in a couple weeks. In fact, we might have a food podcast in a couple weeks.
Yes. And we're also planning to have Bex on as well in a couple weeks after Delve.
Yep. So look forward to that.
Yep.
We're part of the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network as #AGPN on Twitter. Rate us on iTunes. Tell your friends. We actually saw some reviews. Blake showed me some reviews today from some random podcast app. 3 reviews, all 5 stars. Pretty neat.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Do you want to? Because we get these, we get letters from people, but they're massive.
Yeah.
Do you want to read just the first section of the top?
The top
one. Yeah, and I'm wondering maybe we should just go through section by section a little bit every week, because otherwise they just sit there and we never really get through them, and it's kind of a bummer for listeners.
The thing is, we love hearing from you guys, and we do read your emails.
Yeah.
We just, it's hard
to
read out a full letter.
Reading out that whole letter in one go is probably too much, but I think just reading out the first paragraph, and then next week we'll read a little bit more.
Totes. And if
by the way, the only way we can really talk about them, and
if you've got a question, just break that question out into a single line. We can read that question out, no problem. But here's this is an email from Vivan. We hear from him pretty often. Good guy.
Yep. Oh, he also sent in a video for a new way of reheating pizza.
What? Tell me more.
It's amazing. French toasted.
What?
Yep.
Wait, as in you soak it in egg?
Soak it in egginess, a little bit of salt and stuff. And then
sounds too rich.
It's pretty good.
All right, I'll take a look.
Yeah,
but I'm skeptical. So he says, "Hey guys, loving the podcast as always. I think I might have mentioned it previously, but if Nick is enjoying the Elder Scrolls card game, he might be interested in Eternal. Similar sort of game that also has a very magic feel to it with lands or power in the case of Eternal. Very generous too. You can absolutely play with spending 0 money. Their draft mode lets you keep any card you draft in addition to card packs you get, and it's got quite a bit of depth to it. I think I've seen this one. Is this the hex-based one? I might be thinking of something different. But yeah, I'm still really loving the Elder Scrolls card game right now.
Yeah.
But I'll probably start trying other
Are you
things.
off Hearthstone completely now?
Not what is?
I wonder
know
if
what that
that's...
is?
There's a fun alarm.
No,
going off.
there's some construction stuff outside, and now alarms are going off. I think that's the end of the podcast.
Yep.
Alarm.
That's
Yeah.
we're out of time.
We can't keep recording with
I-
this alarm.
I can't talk about how little I play Hearthstone now.
Yeah.
It's not very much. Anyway, we'll be back in a couple weeks. Love you. Bye. Tell me again how wrong I am about art.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
How hard do you think it is for an artist to make a Zelda horse versus a Red Dead horse?
Oh.
Like, what's the difference, in your opinion? Do you just see them as horses and they're cool?
No. Obviously, the Red Dead horse has a higher poly count and it has like more detailed textures.
You start with a Red Dead horse, and then you just like remove polys and lower the resolution of the textures until you get the Zelda horse.
But here, let me ask you this: what's more impressive?
You already know the
what
answer.
the
Yeah, Red Dead. Don't even need to.
considering taking into account performance requirements.
Mm-hmm.
What you as someone who has to take high poly models and make them look good in game. Low
How did
poly
you
with
describe
low-
that to him
making
once?
making things look worse.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you not think? Oh well, considering the requirements for the Switch or whatever, good job.
What?
Do you not think it's easy to take a high poly scan of a horse or whatever it is. The fuck.
No, I get it.
They scan horse
you're
corpses,
saying,
right?
I get it. Like, you're saying that like Nintendo are really good at designing games that run well on their system
And still look good.
and still look good because of the limitations of their system.
Yeah,
Like, you couldn't. There's no way you could put Red Dead on the Switch.
probably not. No,
You like
you might. They might.
They
I don't know.
They put Doom on the Switch, but it was like, wasn't it like really lower quality? I
don't
thought.
know.
Pretty sure.
It
Apparently, it looked quite
was.
good. Apparently, it looks quite good when you're playing it in handheld because it's just a tiny screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then when you plug it in and watch it on the actual TV, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Mm. It's impressive that they can get it on handheld though.
It is.
Wasn't it also on the Wii U?
Doom,
No.
Zelda. Yeah, Zelda was on the Wii. U.
Yeah, and that was not for.
You
That
know
was
what I mean?
bad performance on there.
That's even shittier hardware.
Yeah. There you go. Even more impressive.
It is. It was impressive that it was on the Wii U.
Yeah.
But like, man, you could tell that it was
Yeah, it chugged.
really struggling.
Yeah, it had frame
But
rate
you can
issues.
pull off Doom-like visuals on the Switch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And Zelda looks terrible compared to it.
You haven't played Zelda. I don't think that you can comment on Zelda
I've
until
seen
you've played it.
screenshots. What are you talking about? I need to play
know
it to look at
just
the
as
visuals.
well as I do that screenshots do not show what a game actually looks like.
Do you think
like,
screenshots-
motion is so important for a game?
For animation, right?
For
Just
a
the
game,
animation?
like okay, seeing clouds moving, seeing the way the wind affects grass, for example, that all changes how you perceive a game, right?
Yeah, I've seen it in motion.
Right,
I've
but-
seen GIFs.
I don't know, man.
It's really weird.
I don't know what you.
There's some weird like I can't convey my point because I'm telling you like as blunt as I can, but nothing. It's not resonating properly
Because what you're trying to tell me is Zelda looks bad.
compared to current gen games. Yes.
I think what you're saying is that Red Dead Redemption looks better than Zelda.
It looks more realistic, certainly.
Mm.
Yeah, sure.
But as soon as you look at a cartoon and you're like, it looks cool. It's a cartoon. It looks however they
Yeah.
wanted that
Yeah,
cartoon to.
right.
You're
And I
judging.
think-
You're like we're
You're like,
we're
oh, the
judging
Simpsons
Zelda.
looks cool. You know?
Yeah, we're judging
Sure.
Zelda on a different scale of different like realm
Yeah.
of what looks good. Like Zelda looks good, like in like cartoony wise, But Red Dead looks great in realistic
Sure.
wise.
Yeah.
Like
But
you,
it's.
And then I
would
think
say it's not fair to say.
there's
For example,
absolutely a disconnection between where like you say Red Dead looks great and you say Zelda looks great, and it seems that those two are fighting over which one is the better great.
Yeah.
Look. Obviously, Red Dead is beautiful, right?
look, dude, like Zelda's cool too. It looks good. Okay, it's a stylized choice that look that they go for.
Yes.
Okay. Technically, it's basic. It's very basic. I can pull that shit off.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
When I say Doom looks way better than Zelda, it's because you can pull off that visual quality on a Switch. It's possible, right?
Sure.
If you compare other AAA games on actual Xbox and PlayStation, like the leading current gen platforms right now,
Sure.
nothing looks like Red Dead right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of companies, Ubisoft, EA, are competing on that platform.
What
and
about
they don't achieve that quality?
What about Naughty Dog's games?
Naughty Dog is the only other company that
BioWare,
Naughty,
Anthem.
Naughty Dog,
Anthem?
they haven't done like open world though, right? Naughty Dog,
they're dabbling.
because like that Red Dead, man, when you see those open worlds, you're just like, holy shit.
That's the even more impressive thing.
That's-
It's a fucking open world.
Yeah, that's
game.
what's getting me. I was
It's
like,
not a linear
whoa.
game.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what else looked great as an open world?
What's that?
Zelda,
The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3 did look great as an open world.
So there's one thing that these guys are doing. That's cool. You're trying to get a roof, a rise, but yeah, none of you guys like. Did you pick up anything from that trailer?
Like, not as much as you.
Like cool tech stuff.
I don't know. I wasn't really
You're an
like.
artist.
I was more interested in like the gameplay stuff, like what you'll actually be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I just take it for granted that it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have never cared about things pushing the graphical limits as much as I've cared about them creating a cohesive world. If for example, and I've seen this in other games where there's like some textures that are super crystal clear and sharp right next to textures that aren't, like that are blurry or whatever, and that takes me out of the game world.
Okay.
That's the sort of thing
Does that really take you out?
well, yeah.
I noticed.
I even Zelda has this problem
I'm sure it does.
where you are climbing a mountaintop and the rock texture is very kind of blurry and low res, and then you get to the top and there's like a pristine, tree trunk or something.
But then
like
it
that.
gets away with that because it's cartoony. I mean, that's like World of Warcraft is like super cartoony, but looks good. It gets away with like kind of what other higher quality games like Red Dead couldn't.
Sure.
They can blow up. Like you said, they can blow up a rock face texture.
Yeah.
But if Red Dead did that, you'd be like, holy shit, this is way out of place.
Yeah. There's part of that, but it's also like the scale of Zelda.
Yeah.
And like the fact that everything, because you can go anywhere and do anything, basically. I have more leniency towards like grossness, because it's just I take it as like, okay, well,
Yeah.
the sheer quality level of everything means that like a few some occasional blurry textures is fine.
You're taking the world as a whole as being like the thing that's of quality, not this one particular texture that looks bad.
Yeah, but if I'm playing, for example, like a first-person shooter, like Half-Life 2, for example, used to have some objects would look great, and sometimes you'd find like a really shitty-looking object, and it'd be like, oh, well, what's going on?
That was shit that was in like little things like that in The Witcher that used to annoy me. Like, remember, I thought overall that world is beautiful, but every once in a while you get to a point where, like I mentioned, there was a conversation, a cutscene, and it was windy and raining outside, and the trees were like clipping through the wall, and it was seriously bugging me. And I was just like, "Why is this happening? This game is like better than this. Come on!"
Doesn't happen in Zelda.
God. And then you get like, I think this happens a lot in BioWare games where like you'll be talking to someone, and for some reason their legs think that they're like on on a like step
Oh,
or something and
and they'll be,
start.
like,
Yeah, they
twitching?
start like twitching and like falling through the floor and then like standing back up and falling through the floor. And I was in a cutscene with someone where that was just constantly happening. And I was like, this game, it's better than this. Come on. What the fuck?
I was playing Zelda last night, and I did a quest where you have to deliver a rock to a dude. It's like a log of meat, and the Gorons eat rocks, and so it looks like a log of meat, but it's actually a rock.
Right.
And you get it to him, and there's this like little sequence between this character and his brother, and then he starts like they cook this thing is only used in this one quest, and there's an animation where he cooks this log of meat thing, and then it glows, and it's like got all the brand new textures, and then there's a sequence where the guy's eating the thing, and it's for this one tiny quest, and the animations of him eating it are so good. He's like crunch, and then like goes to the other side, and like and they make this beautiful like little animation sequence that you see only one time in the entire game.
That's why I do get confused with games that have bugs in the main storyline. Like I was saying with with Witcher and the tree clipping through the wall, like that must be something that QA would have run through hundreds of times and then just been like, it's all right if it's raining outside and it's windy. I guess that's just an edge case.
Well, it's also like, how do you solve that?
I don't know, move the trees a little bit so that they don't like do that.
Yeah, you could, but then you then have to go and move every tree next to every wall.
No, not every tree, just that one, because I'm saying that is a particular cutscene in the main story where if it's windy as outside, the trees will clip through the wall.
Sure.
The solution is and should have been, you don't render shit behind a wall. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it should be culled.
Sure. I don't know what that.
Yeah, and that's
cutscene is,
also a case because
because why are you rendering?
That
exists behind.
Yeah.
They may have reasons for it. I don't know what they are. Maybe there was a window.
Again,
you know.
I mean, there was a window and you could see the trees, but still, it's just like I don't know. In a cutscene, it's just it seems like something that was like QA'd and just was like, it's fine. It'll probably happen so rarely that only 1%. Like maybe I just got really unlucky,
with a dynamic weather.
Yeah. I mean, that's I guess maybe the price you pay that one person in 1,000 will have a weird experience. And the thing is, most gamers probably wouldn't even notice it anyway. It's just me because I'm looking at the backgrounds of things all the time.
Anyway, let's get the how do we sound? We can talk about Red Dead.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to raise your hackles.
Nick, I get it. I'm into. I do art.
Yeah.
I know exactly like that. The Zelda looks good argument. I know that. Technically,
the thing is, it looks good on a different like scale.
It's a stylized look.
Yeah.
Good.
It's cohesive, and that's important.
That's fine too.
Cohesion is it's not just a matter of the technical aspect. It's the idea that every part of the world looks like it fits.